For 52 years, the official record said the 1952 Dallas Texans simply collapsed, ran out of money, ran out of crowds, ran out of time. But the NFL made sure you'd never learn that one of their linemen watched the wrong envelope change hands before the wrong game, and then disappeared from every document the league has ever published. That's the story they tell. It isn't what happened. Someone made sure you'd never hear this. Here's what the records were rewritten to hide. The Dallas Texans were a franchise built to fail. Transferred from New York in the summer of 1952 with no local ownership, no stadium lease, and no fan base, they played their home games at the Cotton Bowl to crowds of fewer than 14,000. By mid-October, the NFL had pulled the franchise back and turned them into a traveling team, road games only, no home city for the rest of the season. They finished 1-11. The league dissolved them in January 1953. Official cause of death: financial insolvency. In every record the league has published since, the 1952 Dallas Texans exist as a cautionary tale about expansion, and Earl Craddock's name appears in none of it. He played 11 games. Left guard, 6'1", 234 pounds, out of a small college in Mississippi. His name shows up in 2 game day programs from that season, both confirmed by archivists in 2004. A Dallas sports writer mentioned him by name in October of 1952, calling him a road grader who does his work without a whisper. He was real. He was there. And when researchers began reconstructing the Texans' full roster for a league history project in 2003, his name came back blank. No contract on file. No entry in the player registry. No waiver wire record when the franchise folded. 11 men who suited up for that team have similar gaps, but Craddock is the only one whose absence appears deliberate. The others were clerical. His file had been pulled. Not lost, pulled. The archivist who found the gap said those exact words, and then declined to say anything further. The obvious explanation is paperwork. Franchises that fold mid-season create chaos. Personnel files scatter. Records go to the league office, and sometimes they never get properly logged. That accounts for most of the missing Texans, but it doesn't account for the program. It doesn't account for the newspaper column. And it doesn't account for what a former Texans equipment manager told a freelance sports journalist in 1987 in a taped interview that was never published. He said Craddock had been approached before a game in November. He said Craddock had refused. And he said the week after that game, Craddock was gone from the roster and nobody on the team was allowed to ask why. But that's not the part they buried. Here's what the tape actually contains. The equipment manager's name was Lou Bressler. He died in 1991. The journalist who recorded him, a man named Pete Garrison, kept the tape in a storage unit in Tulsa until 2019, when his daughter donated his papers to a regional sports archive. The tape runs 41 minutes. In it, Bressler describes 2 games that season where the Texans were expected to lose by wide margins and where certain players received cash in envelopes the night before. He names 4 players. He says Craddock found out. He says Craddock went directly to the head coach. And he says the coach told him to be quiet or be gone. Craddock chose to be quiet for 1 week. Then someone from the league office came to the facility. Bressler doesn't know what was said behind that closed door, but Craddock was released 3 days later. No injury designation, no trade, no waiver claim. He simply stopped appearing on any document the NFL has ever maintained. The 2 games in question both ended within a point of the spread. That's not remarkable on its own. Games land on the spread all the time. What's remarkable is that the line moved in the final hours before both kickoffs. Same direction, same velocity, in a way that only makes sense if someone already knew the outcome before the opening whistle. 52 years of silence costs something. It costs the players who were never named. It costs every team that played those games believing the result meant something. Earl Craddock spent the rest of his career outside professional football. There's a record of him coaching high school ball in rural Mississippi in the late 1950s. After 1961, nothing. No obituary, no alumni mention, no trace in any public document. Whether he chose that silence or had it chosen for him, there is no way to know now. What we do know is that a lineman who was real, who played, who appears in the physical record, does not officially exist in the history of a league that has never once been asked to explain why. The Bressler tape is in an archive in Tulsa right now. As of this year, no major sports outlet has filed a request to hear it. The NFL has never acknowledged any allegation tied to the 1952 season, and somewhere in a records facility outside Chicago, there is reportedly a filing cabinet that still contains the original personnel files from the Dallas Texans. No one has opened it, or if someone has, they haven't said what they found.